Hello again, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. This was emailed to me overnight, and I just don't know what to make out of it. HaLeigh Cummings has been missing since 2009. Now, she's presumed to be a victim of homicide. She's been murdered. I've always believed that her father's girlfriend had a lot to do with it, but we need to do an entire show before we get into all that. Well, during the course of the investigation into the disappearance of HaLeigh Cummings, her father got into some other trouble. It's the drugs. It seems like the drugs always get them, and he went to jail. Now, her father is not a suspect in her disappearance, never has been that I know of, but he's not a suspect. But he just can't keep his ass out of trouble. He has a missing daughter. He was released from jail a few months ago, and within days, shoot, some would say hours, he was already in trouble again. Check out this clip with me. He was back in court. Who knows what's going to happen now? He might go to jail for another 10 years. But of course, the most important thing that has not been solved, I don't even know if it can be solved. They say it's not a cold case, but who would know? Is the disappearance of HaLeigh. Where is HaLeigh? Look at this with me, with this goofy bastard got himself into again. Leave me a comment and let me know what you're thinking.
Ronald Cummings, who spent more than 10 years in prison on a drug trafficking conviction, was back in court today after being arrested again on Christmas Day last year. Cummings is the father of HaLeigh Cummings, his 5-year-old, who disappeared in 2009 and was never found. News4Jax reporter Joe McLean was in the courtroom as her father stood before a judge once again.
Ronald Cummings was only in the courtroom for just a few minutes today as his attorneys were providing just a routine update for the judge. But this was the first time he's appeared publicly in a courtroom in more than a decade. Ronald Cummings is fighting more felony charges in Putnam County just months after finishing up a 12-year term in prison for drug trafficking. He pleaded guilty to that charge in 2010 and was released in October of last year. Weeks later, on Christmas Day, Cummings was arrested again after crashing his car into a road sign with a bottle of hard liquor in his lap. When a Putnam County deputy tried to arrest him, Cummings resisted.
Firstly, Mr. Ronald Cummings.
The deputy wrote in the arrest report, "As I was trying to place the male's left arm behind his back, he put one of his hands on the grip of my agency-issued Glock 17 and began pulling in an upright manner. I believed the male was trying to gain possession of my firearm to use it." Cummings also had enough opioid pills in his car for a trafficking charge. He's now facing 7 felony charges, which could land him in prison for another decade or longer.
Somebody stole my child.
Cummings was never a suspect, though, in the high-profile investigation into his daughter's disappearance in 2009. HaLeigh Cummings was 5 years old when she vanished, but her father had been at work on the night that happened.
Come home from work and my child was not there.
A massive search effort by multiple law enforcement agencies turned up nothing. The case is considered an unsolved homicide. Now, Cummings' next court appearance, next court date is May 11th. He's being held on a $185,000 bond. Meanwhile, if you want to catch up on the case, the information about the case, the investigation into HaLeigh Cummings' disappearance, you can download the News4Jax podcast, Into Thin Air. News4Jax anchor Jennifer Waugh really goes in depth in this case from top to bottom, and it includes extended interviews. You can find that podcast. All 4 episodes are available to download now. Just search Into Thin Air wherever you download your podcasts.